All right, today we're jumping right into a digital detective story. It's all about a cyber attack that was so incredibly precise, it was stopped just moments before it could have caused absolute chaos in the cloud. We're going to break down how one single, tiny typo almost became a master key, in a case known as Operation Firebreak.
So get this quote. This is pulled straight from the incident report. It sounds more like something out of a nature documentary, right? But honestly, it perfectly captures just how clever this attack really was. This wasn't random spam. This was a carefully, surgically baited trap. And that is the big question here, isn't it? How can something so simple, something we all do every day, a typo, be turned into a precision weapon? How does it target the most valuable stuff in the entire digital world? Well, that's the mystery we're going to solve today. So the official name for this whole thing was Operation Firebreak. Think of it as our case file. We're going to open it up, look at all the evidence, and piece together exactly how this near catastrophe played out. Okay, so here's the absolute core of it. The entire attack, the whole thing, hangs on a simple case of mistaken identity. You've got this legitimate, super important piece of software that tons of systems rely on, and then you have its evil twin, a malicious look-alike designed to fool people. And the only thing separating them? One missing letter.
So let's talk about the weapon itself, because it's not some crazy, complex virus. No, it's something way simpler and way more powerful, because it exploits a very human flaw, a simple typo.
Now, take a look at this. It's so subtle, right? On the left, you've got the real deal, AWS-SDK-core, and on the right, the imposter, AWS-SDK-core. The attacker literally just dropped the E at the end. It's such a common mistake to make, and if you're a developer in a hurry, under pressure, yeah, your eyes are going to slide right over that.
So this whole trick, it actually has a name, typo squatting. It's a whole category of cyber attack built to prey on our little mistakes. It works because we're human, we're busy, and our fingers slip. And in this case, the trap was set perfectly.
You know, in the world of cybersecurity, sometimes the simplest deceptions are the deadliest. That number 1 means the fake package name is just a single keystroke away from the real thing. That's the absolute sweet spot for an attack like this. It's just close enough to be dangerously, almost invisibly deceptive.
So, if the trap was so perfect, how in the world did it get caught? Well, let's meet the hero of our story, the digital detective on the case, a system called the Intent Engine. Its job isn't just to spot bad files, it's to analyze why they're bad and score just how malicious they're trying to be.
Okay, think of this as our evidence board. The Intent Engine looks at 3 key clues. First up, deception. The typo was so good it got a maximum score, a 4.0. Then, the target. What was it after? Super valuable cloud credentials. That's a high-risk 2.5. And finally, timing. The attacker struck right when developers were panicking, which earned it a critical 1.5. Let's dig into each of these clues.
So let's really unpack that target score. This wasn't some random shot in the dark. The attacker went after AWS-SDK-core, which is a key tool for building software at huge companies. And why? Because getting inside gives you access to cloud credentials. And we're not talking about your Netflix password. We're talking about the literal keys to a company's entire cloud kingdom. Getting those is the jackpot.
And the timing? Oh, the timing was just brilliant, in a scary way. First, bam, a big security vulnerability related to the real package is announced. Everyone's scrambling. And then less than 3 hours later, poof, the malicious twin appears. They were literally weaponizing the chaos, banking on developers being in such a rush to fix things that they'd make a mistake.
All right, so we've got all the pieces on the board. A perfect disguise, a massive prize, and wickedly smart timing. Now, let's see how the Intent Engine put it all together to deliver its final decisive verdict. So, what's the final number? 11.5. And that's not just some random score. When the system multiplied all those factors together, it quantified the threat. On a scale where anything over 10 means sound the alarms, well, 11.5 is a 5-alarm fire. It's basically screaming, this is 100% malicious.
A score that high triggers one single, unmistakable alert. Critical. This is the big red button, the code red for threats that aren't just a possibility, but are a clear, sophisticated, and immediate danger.
So what happens when that critical alarm goes off? An immediate, automatic hard block. The malicious package was stopped dead in its tracks.
The trap was laid, but nobody ever stepped in it. The threat was totally neutralized before a single developer could accidentally install it. Game over.
So in the end, Operation Firebreak was a huge win. A super smart attack was met by an even smarter defense. But it does make you wonder. This attack was so precise, so surgical, that it really stood out. What about all the other attacks? The ones that are less clever, more like a blunt instrument? How many of those are still slipping through the cracks?